ungrateful riffraff.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wemimo and I'm also known as That Mom of 5. So today, as you all know, I've been watching the Real Housewives of Lagos, and yesterday Friday was episode 10. So if you are in the UK, you can download the Showmax app and then you have to pay a subscription. That way you're able to watch it. So I'm just going to talk you through the scenes that I actually find interesting, that the scenes that I felt was touching and is worth mentioning. So right, let's get going. Remember from episode 9, Toyin took the women to Dubai for her 40th birthday. So yeah, so the first scene just kind of like showed all the women having fun. They arrived at Dubai all in their own elements and stuff like that. So at first they arrived at a villa at a villa where Toyin had to hold like a holding bay for the ladies before they eventually go to the main hotel where she's booked for them. So while they were sitting there, you know, everybody having their fun, Caroline was a bit moody and stuff like that, and she did mention in previous episode, episode 9, that she lost a diamond bracelet that a man gifted her, and she did mention that the bracelet cost $43,000, and the likes of Tiannah, Toyin, Iyabo were like, and Laura were like, diamond for 43,000, what it can be. So people like Chioma, she did not flighted a high because she knew, like, you know, there are gifts like that cost up to that. At the end of the day, Caroline was like, it's not really about the money, it's because of the thought behind the gift. It's the thought of the fact that somebody thought of her and gifted her. It's really the emotion, the motive behind the gift, and not necessarily the gift or the cost of the gift itself. So that kind of like got Caroline moody. And I believe in previous episode, Iyabo asked Caroline if she got the bracelet insured, and Caroline said yes, it was insured. So Caroline, word of advice: you insure this bracelet, just get in contact with your insurance and let them replace it. So end of story. Okay, so while they are still at that holding bay with all the ladies, and Tiannah still in that area, they were having breakfast. So obviously Caroline is still being moody about the bracelet, and then Iyabo went on to ask her that, oh, so which of the men which is it, the ex or current one, gave you the bracelet? And immediately Iyabo asked that question. The expression of the face of the women dropped, like, that kind of question. Like, you know, that Caroline was hurt in that by that question, because in her confessional, Caroline was like, Iyabo made it come across as if she was with multiple men at the same time, but Caroline did put it straight out there that she only had one man. She's a one woman, one man. That if she's in a relationship and if she's only in a relationship with a man at a time, if the relationship does not work, she moves on. So she's not with multiple men or anything like that. And I find that question quite disrespectful and rude by Iyabo. Like, Auntie Iyabo, please leave Caroline alone. She's just told you that it was a gift. It doesn't matter if she got it from a 90-year-old boyfriend she's dating. Auntie Iyabo, tread softly. Oh. Me, I like you, but the way you are doing, you are like a butterfly. You are yo-yoing. By the way, Auntie Iyabo, why are you hiding your man? Yeah, you told us you have a man in your life. Why are you hiding your man? I will advise you, you better unveil him now. Let the words of social media help you check that it does not belong to anybody, to avoid story that touch the heart. So Auntie Iyabo, dress softly and leave Caroline alone. If she likes, let her date Methuselah, because Caroline says she wants a man who is Kanye West rich and not Elon Musk. So leave her alone. If she finds a Methuselah that is Kanye West rich, it's her choice, it's her life. Let her live it. So that's that. So the scene 2 was when Toyin took the ladies to the villa where she got for them, and Mariam was given a tiny room, even though Toyin promised Mariam that she will have one of the biggest rooms in Nigeria before they left because she won the game. But Mariam had a tantrum because she got the tiniest room, and Iyabo made fun of her, saying that the room looks like Oshodi Hotel. That the Oshodi Hotel is a 10,000 per night hotel. Like, Mariam was not having any of it, so she was ranting to Toyin like, why did you give me a tiny room? You promised me a big room and stuff like that. It was fun because I like Mariam because when she's upset, she's able to voice out what she's concerned about or upset about. And Toyin did apologize, and Toyin did say that yeah, it's her birthday. She didn't want to come across as biased, and at the end of the day, Mariam chose the room herself because she can't like put a number in a bowl for them to pick a number. So it's the number they picked is the room they got. So obviously because Mariam is Toyin's friend, so she didn't want to come across as biased by giving her everything at her beck and call. So at least that was sorted. But then Mariam was giving them all shit of attitude like, you know what, you gave me a wrong room. Why give me a kiddies room? Like, why did you give me a kiddies room? So Mariam threw a tantrum about a room, you know. So big women throwing tantrum. So that's that. So the third scene for me was scene 3 when they were at the dinner. So the ladies arrived and, you know, Toyin giving them pleasantries like they look good in the robe. I think there was a robe presented in the gifts that Toyin gave them, so hence why I've got my own silk robe on as we're trying to look the part. So we were coming in for dinner and Toyin commended them on how they look. And all this while, we all know from even from the last 2 episodes, since that big fight between Caroline and Laura, Toyin has been ignoring Laura, and it's obviously clear. So Toyin ignoring Laura and then calling for stuff as if Toyin was a housemate, like, Toyin, I need her Wi-Fi, Toyin, I need this, Toyin, I need that. And Toyin was pissed like, come, did Laura come with the house girl from Nigeria to Dubai, or why is she calling her back and call? Like, you know, Laura, do your shit yourself. Toyin is not and will not be your butler, okay? So Mariam stepped in elegantly in her own gown, like in her own cape that is different from what the other ladies were wearing, and they were like, oh, where did you get that from? This is that. She was just kind of like looking at them. At some point she was singing. So that's that. And at some point they showed Laura in her own confessional saying that Caroline is a manipulative woman, that she can lie, she can do, like, I don't understand why Laura is concerned about what Caroline does. If Caroline is manipulative, leave her alone. If you want to be manipulative yourself, go ahead and do it. Nobody's stopping you. Whatever Caroline does, why are you pissed? Why are you high up over what Caroline does? Like, Caroline is being herself on that show. Why don't you just do your own thing? Yes, you're not on the good vibes with Caroline, it's fine, but stop letting everything about you on that show be about Caroline and Chioma. I just don't get this Laura of a girl. So at some point Toyin was like, she wants to delegate the activities for her birthday amongst the ladies. That Toyin was like, you know what, yeah, it's gonna be a long 6 days. I don't want to do all of these activities on my own, so I'm gonna assign some of these activities to you girls. If there's anything where you want to take me, or if there's anything you want us planned, you know, let us discuss about it. So all the women were saying they were going to take them to Sarah Desert. Caroline said she was going to take Toyin to a billionaires club, and, you know, she's going to look after everybody. And during that time when all the women were talking, Laura was busy doing and her phone, you know, she was busy doing all lots of things, just kind of like drag attraction. And she kind of like accepted herself that she wants attention. Like, yeah, she's an attention seeker. Yeah, Laura, we know you're an attention seeker, and it's getting tiring, okay? So when it was her turn to talk, she grabbed a cup, a glass, and a knife and go,
God, I have a few things to say.
Immediately she did that, all the ladies just stopped.
Ha! Laura.
Go. Headmistress, you know, then student.
Bing. I knew that she wanted to bring another story.
In Iyabo's confessional, Iyabo was like, why is she doing like that, like an headmistress in a school? Chioma was like, what's the need for that? Caroline was like, madam, we've had a long day, let us just eat and, you know, go to bed. Why are you bang? You know, if you want to talk, chip in the way the other women were chipping in and having a conversation. You are the one who is excluding yourself from what is going on. So there's no need for you chipping a glass to get attention just because you want to talk. And when she started talking, I'm sure you all know what she came on about. So she started with okay, she's happy to be here, she's going to take the lady so place, and this that. And while we are at that, I want to address what's been happening. So she went on bringing about the things that's happened in Nepal. Like, Laura, it's time you move on from what's happened in episode 9 and in episode 8. Here we know you're not on good terms with Caroline, we know you're not on good terms with Chioma at some point, but this is like somebody's birthday, she's trying to have a good time. Why are you trying to mess things up? So she went on about talking about she knows there's been a lot of things that's happened, that she just want to have fun here and this that, and she was like, okay, I'm going to apologize but not now. And she now kind of like say, oh, Caroline, I'm talking to you. Immediately Caroline heard her name. Caroline stood up.
Caroline, I'm talking to you. But on this particular trip,
I say, I'm going to the toilet. So that alone, the atmosphere changed. You can see Laura do that like that. And then Iyabo Ojo was like, continue talking. She was like, yeah, I'll continue talking because I don't know why she stood up. So at that point, Mariam chipped in to say, no, that we are just tired of your negativity. Chioma used the opportunity to dig into Laura so that, you know what, you are too negative, you bring bad energy. Whenever you're around, the atmosphere changes. Like, your bad energy just kind of like affects everything. And Chioma was trying to say that, you know what, negativity, a bad vibe and a good vibe. When a bad vibe comes, a bad vibe kind of like takes over the minimal good vibe that is in place. So when Laura comes, everything does change, but when she leaves, all the women have fun and stuff like that. So, you know, they just kind of like, Chioma just kind of like went in ham on Caroline, on Laura like that. And during Chioma's confessional, Chioma called Laura badly behaved, lacked etiquette, lacks manner, and she lacks people skills. Those were the words Chioma said during her confessional. And while they were still at the dinner table, Tony went on to say to Laura that, you know what, you owe Mariam an apology because at our dinner you behaved badly, you were rude, and that was when you were rude to Tony as well. Even though Tony was upset as well, that, you know what, you were rude to her because she's been protecting you against these people that you don't seem to like, but then you disrespect her in public, that no, she doesn't appreciate that at all. So Mariam raised the issue about dinner, and she said, Tony did say to Laura that you owe Mariam an apology. And Laura in her confession was like, Mariam is trying to show herself to Chioma and Caroline that yeah, she can talk, that if she wants an apology, she will give her the apology, that she doesn't mean the apology, but she will give her the apology anyway. So Mariam did say to Laura that yeah, I hope you owe me an apology because you were just badly behaved that day. She doesn't care what you were upset about, but it's at dinner, you should have at least commended her effort on how she's able to kind of like, you know, host you guys. When she was like, yeah, I apologize for that, is that okay? Obviously Mariam knew that apology was not remorseful, and Mariam was like, you know what, that apology is not accepted, that Laura can take that apology back and shove it up her ASS. Yes, you know, Mariam can see through Laura. She knows Laura very well, hence why she told her to stick her apology up her ASS. And I agree with Mariam, well done. So at the end of the day, like I said, Laura said in her confessional that she doesn't mean the apology. And you know, I was just like, come, you don't mean an apology, why say it? Why say it? You just want to start, people were having fun and you started with like bringing up what has happened in episode 9. Like, this is a place for you to have fun. You are on a trip, put whatever it is that's happened in the past. Yes, I understand some of the ladies are kind of like holding back because of what they've experienced with you, and bad energy is tiring. Like for me, when if I meet somebody, first appearances matters to me a lot. If I meet you for the first time and you appeared, you behave badly towards me, or you act in a way, that's it for me. Like, I just do away with you, and I might see you in other places, but I won't get close. And with all these women, they've seen you with all these negative and bad energies, and they're just taking back as well, that they don't want to be in a situation whereby they have to start exchanging words with you, or you start mixing your bad energy with their own good vibes. They're just avoiding you, and I clearly understand the women for doing that. So the next episode was scene 4, when they went out to the safari, you know, desert. They all had fun, they were all dancing, twerking in the bus. However, obviously the journey was an hour to the desert, and Caroline was spraying all the women twerking. And guess who Caroline did not spray dollar to? You guessed right, she did not spray Laura. Obviously, I don't know, maybe it's the setting of the bus. All the 4 women, they were all sitting face to face with each other, but Laura was sitting at the back, and she was doing all of that while all the 4 women were dancing away. And again, Laura was like, yes, atmosphere in the bus again was off and stuff like that. And I'm like, come, the atmosphere is not off. If you really want to be a part of the fun they were having, you can as well put yourself in the middle of the 4 of them dancing while sit at the back and you were there waving your hands. No, it does not really show that you really want to be there with them. So you're always missing out. You know, you're the one who's missing out. So they were dancing, you know, they were just having fun. Obviously Laura was still not having a part of it, so they got to the desert area, they had fun in desert, they drove to the desert, and then it was time for them to get entertained. So while they were getting entertained, there was a belly dancer, and Chioma was like, oh, she really want to learn how to belly dance. Like, how sweet will it be if you twerk to your man or do a belly dance to your man as well? So while Chioma was dancing, in Laura's confessional, she was like, yeah, they will say she's the only one that wants attention, that Chioma wants attention. Why is she dancing? Why is she doing that? That she gave the attention to Chioma that Chioma could have. And this Chioma, she just having fun. Like, in fact, Laura, your case is out of this world. So, and they were dancing and stuff, and then when it was time for, there was this male entertainer as well. Like, Caroline was swinging over, and Iyabo was like, hey, Caroline. No, it was Toyin that noticed Caroline swooning over one of the men that came to entertain them, and Toyin was like, Caroline, be careful, take your eyes off that man, you know. And then Iyabo observed Chioma as well, drooling over one of the guys as well, and Iyabo was like, Chioma, you be a shewu, take your eyes off that guy. Like, you know, they were just seeing, Iyabo and Toyin were just seeing all the antenna Chioma and Caroline were giving to all the men that came to entertain them there. So I guess they were probably drunk, and, you know, I mean, they are just having fun, you know. All this while Laura was like, you know, sitting down, going back and forth, trying to laugh. But throughout that scene and throughout most of the scene, you could easily tell that Laura she didn't really want to be there. It felt as if she was forced to be there, you know. And I just felt like, you know what, it's no big deal. If you don't want to be there, you should have just told Toyin that, you know what, you have an appointment, you won't be able to come around. I mean, you did not go to Iyabo's you were at Iyabo's 21st daughter's birthday. You were only there for like 12 minutes and then you left. You know, it doesn't show that you want to be a part of this woman. Maybe it's something else that the show organizers are trying to portray to us. But if I have someone like Laura in the garden of my friend, I will be excluding her from anything I've got arranged, because I don't want negative vibe around me. Most especially when the other women actually felt that negative energy. You know, it's not right, you know. So they were all having fun and stuff. So obviously Laura has given an half unremorseful apology, but the women are not buying her apology. So while they were being entertained later in the evening, Mariam announced to Toyin that she's got a gift for her, and then she was like, it's in the car, I'm gonna go bring it. And to the surprise that I was not expecting, so Mariam presented Toyin's husband. Toyin was shocked, like, even at some point Toyin did not realize it was her husband. Then she was like, it's my husband that is the marksman, this is my husband, and stuff like that. It was one of the epic thing a friend could gift a friend, you know. So that was a very good thing from Mariam to Toyin, and Toyin really loved it, you know. So while they were still there, Toyin loving up with her husband, the other ladies having a chat. So Chioma and Iyabo excused themselves to go have a chat, and while they were having this chat, Chioma was like, what did Iyabo think about the apology that Laura gave? Or did Laura just give the apology because she knew she'll be stuck with these women for 6 days and she doesn't want to be left out, she knows she'll be bored to hell? Maybe that was why she gave an apology and stuff. That, you know, Chioma was like, she's still a bit reserved about Laura, even though with that apology she's still not fully, like, she still want to keep her space, you know. So, and I love the response Iyabo gave to Chioma. Iyabo was like, you know what, if she brings a good vibe, we'll give her a good vibe. If she brings a negative vibe, we'll just give her the cold shoulder. You know, it's just a matter of do me, I do you, God no go first. And I think I appreciate that response from Iyabo as compared to like don't let us, you know. I just love the fact that Iyabo as well knew as well that her apology was not remorseful. So she's still kind of like treading softly with Laura as well, which I felt was great. So while these two people are having their serious conversation, behind them Toyin was talking to her husband. Like, that woman is crazy. She and her husband, they are crazy. But it just goes to show that, you know, regardless of whether the camera is on or off them, they are both having fun, which is what they should do as a couple, you know. So that's scene 4. And then scene 5 was when they all went back to the hotel that they were in at So Toyin said because where the penthouse her husband is quite far from where they are, so she decided that they should all check out from the villa and moved into her husband's penthouse. So they moved into her husband's penthouse where they rented, and Mariam got one of the largest room, and Mariam was thrilled, she was happy and stuff like that. Grown-ass woman throwing tantrums about bedroom, and this time around she got what she wanted and she was happy. So while they were there, and you know, Toyin obviously being the host, she was going in to check on the women to see how they were doing, and then she went into Laura to check on Laura, and she was like, "Oh Laura, how are you?" And Laura started, "I'm not feeling well." As we all know, Toyin has been avoiding Laura for a while now, and she was not ready for a conversation. However, since Laura said she want to have a conversation, Toyin decided to hear her out. At some point, Laura was like, she was there because of Toyin, and if not for that, because Toyin is her friend, and she know that Toyin has been avoiding her. And Toyin said, "Yes, I've been avoiding you because you know what, you disrespected me. There's no way you can disrespect me in the midst of these people that have been defending you against, and then you want to come and meet, you want me to come and meet you in private and apologize. You know, it doesn't work that way. Same for me. If you disrespect me in public, I expect you to make the apology in public. Don't think that because I feel you've disrespected me and you expect me to come and meet you and say, you disrespect me. No, you knew yourself that you've disrespected Toyin. It's up to you to walk up to Toyin and apologize rather than you expecting Toyin to come to you." So Laura was still being defensive, like, oh, she left her children, and Toyin was like, she left her own children as well. You know, Laura was just being defensive, and Toyin was like, "Come Laura, you have to know the importance of how the words you speak could impact negatively on people. Some people might come across to you physically, they might come across to you as tough, but inside of them they are mushy. Some people, if you say stuff to them, they will give it back to you instantly, and there's some people, when you talk shit to them, they will go away in their corner and cry and feel bad about it. That you just have to be conscious of the way you use words on people. And I always say this on my channel, like, you have to be very, very sensitive to people. They don't have to show you their weaknesses for you to be sensitive. You just have to be ready to be sensitive 100% when you are dealing with people. You know, Toyin just said to her that, you know what, no, you have to be conscious of the way you use words with people. People are different. Yes, that's why we are human, we are different, and you should be conscious of what you do around people. So at some point, Toyin, they kind of had a chat, and Toyin felt like she understood where Laura was coming from, that she felt bad that she felt that way. So they both had a chat, and Toyin was like, "Oh, okay, you need to apologize to me." And Laura was like, she doesn't know how to apologize. And Toyin was like, "You are mad, you don't know how to apologize." Eventually they settled their differences, and you know, they were happy again. So there was a happy ending for both Laura and Toyin, and I hope it stays that way with them. However, episode 11 is going to be Basbo, so I'm going to leave a short clips of that after this outro. I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this summary of Real Housewives of Lagos episode 10, don't forget to drop me a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe as well, and let's get chatting. And I hope to see you in the next episode, which is next week. And before you go, don't forget to watch the Basbo's snippet of what we are going to get next week. So it's like a war between Chioma and Caroline. You don't want to miss that, and I hope to see you next week. Okay?
You actually saw these ladies as Raz.
This fucking idiot.
No problem, Chioma. You're the queen of Sheba, queen of Zamunda. You are the reason why. Now can I rest?
This ungrateful,